And record. All right. Go for it.
Great. Welcome, everybody, to our MycoChiapas info call.
My name is Zachary Hunter.
And I'm Kim.
We are the Fungivore. If you've gotten any emails from us, it's just the two of us running everything. And we'd like to introduce also on the call is Ezequiel Cruz, who will talk a little bit later about what he's doing here in Chiapas. He's a mycologist that we've been working with. I first talked to him in 2022, I think, almost 4 years ago now. And we've been working with him for the last couple of years. Yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share what we're talking about here.
Was it in?
Ezekiel is muted.
We'll unmute
Yes,
him.
don't worry.
He'll
Okay.
be good. Just go to the Canva. You just gotta go to the start. I have to go out of it first and then back in now.
Sorry, y'all.
Technology, we're foragers, not online people anymore. You just want to go to the beginning.
Right. Well, so welcome everyone to our info call for our MycoChiapas adventure, which is happening September 30th until October 8th this year. We will be working with Fungaria, a really amazing group of folks from both Tuxtla and in San Cristobal de las Casas, and we'll introduce Ezekiel in a little bit. I'd like to give a little overview of Mexico for folks before we get started on more specifics of the trip.
Just press it.
Well, so for a lot of people, Mexico is beaches and tacos, and possibly they've heard, Baja California or whatever. But if you look at Mexico, it is actually a continuation of the large mountain range that goes all the way up into Canada, that's known as the Rocky Mountains, in the U.S., and it continues down to become the Sierras, Sierra Madres in Mexico. And Mexico, for the most part, is actually mountains, not coastal areas. Mexico is made up of 31 states plus Mexico City. Kim and I have been working primarily in southern Mexico. We work in Chiapas and also in Oaxaca, which are the two states that you can see on the very southernmost part of this map. Mexico is a mega diverse country. It has a huge amount of just about every kind of biodiversity because of its huge mountains all the way down to the beaches, from the tropics to the desert, and it usually is in the top five of megadiverse countries in the world. In terms of where it stands in the world, Mexico is the number one country for pines, number two for reptiles, number three for mammals, number eight for birds, and has 10% of the world's ferns, and is also fifth in the amount of reptiles in the world. Now, Chiapas, being the southernmost state here, actually has some of the greatest biodiversity, I think second to Oaxaca, actually. And has, because it's down here, has jungle, has mountains, and has a really unique topography because of some of the mountainous activity that happened there. So imagine, if you will, can you all see my cursor here? Imagine, if you will, that this mountain range here kind of
On the
just
bottom part.
on the bottom just kind of got lifted up, and in the process wrinkled all of this, uh, sorry, what is that? Coral reef up, and the coral reef extends all the way to the Yucatan Peninsula. But what you see down here, and this is Tuxtla Gutierrez here, what you can see is that rising up to San Cristobal, which is the two places we'll be for our tour, is 6,000 foot or a 2,300 meter elevation gain. And that is actually the old seawall. Tuxtla is down in what used to be the ocean floor, and San Cristobal is up on what used to be the ocean, the coral reef edge. Because of this, there is a lot of limestone in Chiapas, and there's a lot of water in Chiapas. Apparently, it has somewhere between 25 and 30% of all of Mexico's water. Um,
I'm just making sure anybody was trying to get in. We're
yeah.
good.
And as a result of having so much water, It has some really amazing land features having to do with the limestone, which is amazingly all coral reef that was formed over tens and tens of millions of years. So Chiapas itself is incredibly biodiverse. These are all photos that were taken during our last year's foray. Um, and this is from everywhere from Tuxtla in the Sumidero Canyon, where there are crocodiles that you see at the very top of the screen, to pink chanterelles, who that we'll hopefully be finding again this year. To you're going to have to help me, Ezekiel, with the name of that very strange mushroom we found that was like a crust fungi turned into almost a chanterelle, and a bunch of other really incredible.
Okay.
You have to
And
unmute
then
yourself.
the name is Trachyspora telephora.
And this one here, that was quite an excitement.
It's in the Telephora family, but it looks
Y-
totally different.
yeah. And so we see this is all stuff that we've seen while we were hiking on in our 2025 experience. Now, a lot of folks say, "Oh, the Mayan Empire collapsed in the 800s, or all these cities collapsed." There is nothing collapsed about the Mayan people at all in this area. It is extremely rich. The culture is you're as likely to hear Spanish as you are Tzotzil or Tzeltal in the streets of San Cristobal. There's radio stations in those languages as well, and there is a ton of culture that's visible all over, from the murals to all kinds of community spaces to the church in Chamula. Do you want to talk a little bit about Chamula and Zinacantan?
Yeah. Well, just outside of San Cristobal, neighboring San Cristobal are the two indigenous villages that you'll see the population of both actively in San Cristobal during our time. You'll see the women below with the embroidered shawls. They're from Zina Cantan, and the woman up on the upper left is from Chamula wearing a woven wool skirt, which is traditional in that area. But the textiles and the artisanship here is really comparable to Oaxaca. It's in a completely different aesthetic with tons of colors, with weaving as a central point of that. And you'll get to see a lot of that in San Cristobal when we're here.
And San Cristobal is where we'll spend the majority of our time. It's an 8-night trip. We spend the first night actually in Chiapa del Corso, which sets us up to explore the lower areas of Ezekiel's specialty in the Sumidero Canyon and some of the areas around Tuxtla. And San Cristobal itself, as you can see from this really cool video that Kim found, is surrounded by mountains. And the mountain that's about to recede over to the right side of the screen, that's Huitepec. We will be up there for one of our trips. It's panning around to another area called Montetic, which we'll be spending a lot of time in. But literally every direction that you go out of San Cristobal, there are mountains and there are parks there where we can do our forays. This is actually a view of both directions on the left-hand side. One is looking up at the Iglesia de Guadalupe, which just wrapped up about a month ago, the Festival of Guadalupe, in which about 200,000 pilgrims showed up at this church. And then looking the other direction is also looking out towards Huitepec. Both of these are on the main walking street, which is there are two streets in downtown Santa Cruz, San Cristobal, that sort of are perpendicular to one another and are completely closed to traffic. And a lot of people are there all the time. It's really an active downtown. Kim and I actually first found our way to San Cristobal in 2022 because the National Conference of Mexican Mycologists had chosen San Cristobal as their place. And I said, you know what? I don't speak academic and I'm not very good at Spanish. And I think I got to go to this. And we used that as an excuse and we came down. And that's actually where I first met Ezekiel face to face. And that really caught our attention, let's say. It was fantastic. We went out into several of the parks to go foraying during that time, as well as saw a bunch of presentations and met a bunch of the mycologists that we've actually worked with in Nama throughout the years at this point as well. And since then, especially last year, we have really kind of devoted ourselves to being here. We were in July, we worked with the Yui Fest, which is over on the right-hand side. Kim did a dye demonstration, and I showed off some of the mushroom bitters and participated in a panel of mushroom chefs. And then the Moni Fest, which is actually a pet project of Ezekiel and Fungaria, featured Kim as one of the doing dye demonstrations. And if you believe it or not, that's just three mushrooms that she pulled all of those colors from during the course of the demonstration. And this is part of our foray. The picture of me in the center is part of the foray that we did for the Moni Fest when we were collecting some mushrooms. So we've really been so thrilled to have Ezequiel introduce us to the mushroom culture here, to bring us in and to be so welcoming and to be so knowledgeable and helpful for everybody to learn during our trips. And so, without further ado, please allow me to introduce Ezequiel Cruz. He's going to take over the screen sharing and present some photos of what we're doing. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about the specifics of our tour and the itinerary and such.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Zach, and I hope that you enjoyed this little presentation that I'm gonna give to you at the moment. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, you just said where Chiapas is, so I'm just gonna do a recap on that. Chiapas is the southernmost state of Mexico. It's near the border with Guatemala, so it is this red figure highlighted in the presentation. In Chiapas, you can find both warm environments and cold environments, more temperate environments. We're going to be in both places. These two photos were taken in previous MycoChiapas tour. So these are from last year. Very beautiful places, very beautiful photos that you get to take there. And like you said, Chiapas, as well as Mexico, has a great biodiversity. It's the first place of cycad diversity. You can find a lot of cycads. It's the second place of reptile diversity. So it has a lot of diversity of a wide range of species and organisms. However, if we are to look at the diversity per state of Mexico, Chiapas only comes at third place, and this is out of date. If we were to update these numbers, Chiapas wouldn't even be in the top 10 of fungal diversity in Mexico. So why is that? It's not because Chiapas doesn't have mushrooms, it's because there's not many people studying them. And now I'm gonna show some photos of mushrooms from my hometown, which is Tuxtla. If you've ever heard about Tuxtla before, you might think that Tuxtla is only warm and when you think about it, you don't really think about mushrooms, right? You just think about a lot of heat, but and sweating a lot and maybe drinking beer, but that's not the case. It's really a beautiful place to find mushrooms. Um, Tuxtla Gutierrez is not in the center of the state per se. It's more at the northern part of it. This is the capital. This is Tuxtla Gutierrez. And most of the landscape of Tuxtla looks like this. Very beautiful place. These are some photos of me looking for mushrooms throughout the years, taking photos and stuff.
Those are
Here's me
pink
with a
chanterelles, right?
yeah. This is a photo that I took last year with a bunch of pink chanterelles from here,
Cool.
from Cantarellus cocolove. That's the species that grows here in a tropical environment, and we have some milky caps here. This orange one is super tasty. And just to let you know, there's a project going on in Tanzania about consumption of mushrooms by chimpanzees. And there's a species in Africa that looks a lot like this. It's not the same, but it looks a lot like this. It's just like a fun fact. So it makes me think that uh, human consumption of mushrooms comes a long way ago, right?
Hmm.
So now I'm gonna move to the photos of mushrooms that you're gonna find here. This is gonna be very quick. It won't take too much.
Yeah.
Just wanna share my full screen. Are you able to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna be in the first day in a forest that it's called Nangaño, and it's a pretty interesting environment that I'm very happy to have to be able to show to you. Last year was the first year actually that I was able to have forays down there because we usually only did forays in San Cristobal. So the first day that you're gonna experience is gonna be totally different to what you may usually know or Like it's very different from a forest where you usually go to find mushrooms. So the main tree that's present in that environment is this Nangaño tree, Hypnopodium floribundum, that doesn't look like a tree actually, it's more like a shrub. And the landscape looks like this. It's kind of like an enchanted place, very beautiful. It has tons of mushrooms. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you a bunch of mushrooms that grow there. We have a bunch of milky caps of the genus Lactiflus. These ones are all edible. However, they mostly grow uh, prior to the midsummer drought. So you find them from June to early August. Then then the rain stops basically for a few days. And when we have rains back, we only have um, just a couple of fruitings of these species. So I'll make sure to dry some of them out so you can try them because we're likely not to find them fresh, but I'm gonna, dry some for you to eat them. Okay, this is the main species, the Lactiflus chiapanensis, like the moni. This is the the start of the festival that you just mentioned, Zach, the Moni festival.
Mhm.
These have some rusula that grow in this place as well. Very beautiful. We have a lot of boletes. When you think about boletes, you think about cold weather and like this these little fellas are hidden in pine forest or anything, but this really like to grow in this tropical environment at 30 degrees Celsius. I don't know how that much is in Fahrenheit, maybe 70, something like that. Yeah, pretty warm. More boletes, a lot of boletes. We were able to find some of these last year. Some other species, you find a lot of species that you don't think you're going to be able to find in these kind of places. Some of these are edible. And we have a project there, which is the Moni project, which I'm gonna share with you when you come down to Chiapas. These are the edible ones. Just sharing these pictures so you can know this species.
That's so pretty.
We're gonna try this one for sure. I'm gonna try some for you. This is another like super tasty mushroom that we eat here in Tuxtla. This is a great mushroom to eat. It doesn't look that tasty, but believe me, the taste is awesome. And it's kind of like pulled chicken or pulled pork. You can prepare it that way. And you can have it in quesadillas. You can have it just like in a stir fry. It's really great mushroom to eat. Some some photos of traditional foragers from here. This is um, a traditional forager from Copolla. She loves photos. She's always asking for photos to be taken of her. And she obviously loves money. That
Love
day
it.
we were, we were picking, uh, everything that was on the ground, and I was like, I mean, we don't have baskets anymore. How are we gonna take this? And she basically took her skirt off. She had jeans under, so we made like a little basket out of her skirt, and that's how we took the rest of the mushrooms. Yeah, and she even wanted to pick more, but I was like, how are we gonna take those? It was so fun. Yeah, people here love money for sure.
So
This is
to
another
clarify,
foray.
Moni is an indicator of an edible
Wild
mushroom,
mushroom, yeah.
edible
Oh
wild.
yeah. Yeah, actually the word moni is in soke and it stands for edible mushroom. So basically all of the edibles that grow in the soke region are called moni. So you can have moni blanco, which is white moni. You can have moni menudito, which is thin moni. You can have coloradito or moni coloradito, which is like reddish moni or pinkish moni. So yeah, moni is the word for edible mushroom.
Mhm.
This is a nice photo of a foray that we did with a family. This is a photo I love very much. This is of a mother and her daughter um, pulling the nangaña mushroom, the one that I told you that you can have it as pulled pork.
Mhm.
This is the way you cook it. You wash it and then you pull it. Another photo of a traditional forager with more money. The process of money selling in the market and picking the money. a lot of things regarding the Moni. This is the festival that we do. This year is gonna run from September 10th to the 13th. It's gonna be the fourth Moni Festival. This is a mural that you're gonna be able to see. It looks like this, but it's better in person. And we're also gonna show you the Moni documentary. We made a documentary last year that we didn't finish. So the guys that came last year were just able to see like small chunks of it, like raw, very raw chunks of that. So we're working on having it done for the fourth festival. And by that time, you're gonna be able to see uh, the final outcome. So that's another key aspect of why you have to come down to the MycoChiapas tour.
Amazing.
Mhm.
And this is how the Moni Festival looked like. Here's Kim in the dyeing workshop. It's a very nice thing. And this is what we do with Fungaria, besides, the scientific part that obviously we love doing, inventorying species and whatnot. For us, it's very important to communicate what we find, what we know to all of the Chiapanecan citizens, and especially to the citizens from Tuxtla, because the mushroom culture in my hometown is not very big. Not many people know about mushrooms, even though we have a long history of consumption of them. We also do this in San Cristobal, but the mushroom culture in San Cristobal is bigger. We had presentations, we had some other workshops, cooking and cultivation. We had forays. This is the place you're gonna visit, actually. It's a very beautiful place. You see in this photo in the left corner that there's a lot of mushrooms. So even if it's super warm, it has a great diversity. Very beautiful place. It's the place I love the most in the whole planet.
Mm.
And that's it. Now I'm gonna leave you the screen.
Super. We can have questions at the end of our trip.
Yes, for sure.
There we go. Screen sharing is-
If you scoot it over, maybe
so-
you're sharing a window on another desktop. So if you just scooch it over,
Show me.
sometimes it's. Where is it? This is why you're supposed to close stuff before we start.
Okay.
And I can't find it.
It's right there. It was right there. Sorry. Ah, yeah. There we go.
There we are.
All right. Sorry about that. So let's dive in. We'll talk about what we're doing with this trip. This is our third year putting this together, and it's really exciting when things start getting their own momentum and their own legs. And last year we added several new experiences that we're really excited to share again. So first off, of course, it's the three of us that you see here. Zach, me, Kim, and Ezekiel. We're kind of taking the lead on all of our forays as well as sort of the activity planning. But we also work with several other folks. Ezekiel is part of Fungaria, who is also mycologist Alex Estrada, Chef Carla, Juan, who does medicinal mushrooms or specializes in medicinal mushrooms, and I'm sure there are some other folks that are part of the team as well. Mama Funga is this amazing local laboratory and functional mushroom company that we've become good friends with. Part of our tours, you can't come to Chiapas without messing around with chocolate. And our friends at Jungala not only make some of the best, most incredible sustainable chocolate in all of Mexico, but they also, with their partners, are producing reishi mushrooms, cardamom, and vanilla. And so we have a class and opportunity where you get to make 2 bars with some functional mushroom powders, decorate them with all kinds of fun herbs and flowers, and take those home as part of that project. And then our friends over at Fun is a mushroom cafe, and we're going to work with them a little bit to talk about what it is they do. Because there's a lot of really cool businesses here in Chiapas, not just in San Cristobal, but all around that are working with mushrooms. The applied mycology down here is one of the things that attracted us in the first place. This is a pretty foray heavy adventure, I would say. We're doing at least 5 trips, and there may be an opportunity for a sixth as well. The lowlands is what Ezekiel was just talking about. I couldn't remember the name of the forest specifically, but that is the Nanganyanya mushroom that you find in the Nanganyo forest. Montatique, we showed in the video real quick, but it's a really amazing forest that you start at one end and walk through the whole thing, and will get picked up at the other. The diversity down there is really cool and actually quite different from the other ones, despite being a couple kilometers away. Encuentro is a really amazing hike that we'll do, and they have some great facilities down below that they've built, cob structures and a permaculture garden that we'll explore as well. When we go to Huitepec, which is the mountain that sort of frames San Cristobal on the back, Kim is very excited that we find quite a few Dyer's Cortinarius up there. As well as a lot of Craterellus, and that is a really cool hike. And that actually gets us up into the cloud forest that Ezekiel actually, I'm not sure we've ever made it because it's always threatening to rain. So we're going to do our best to get up into the cloud forest up there as well. And then we're going to have a trip out to Moshvakil, which is actually an orchid sanctuary. We won't be able to pick any mushrooms there, but the diversity there last year was insane. And not only do we get to hang out with the founder of Moshvakil and to explain everything we want to know about orchids and the garden and that project, but there's a really cool about 2 mile hike. I could not believe how many mushrooms we were seeing up on this hike. It was absolutely stunning. So this is a very foray forward trip. We'll spend quite a bit of time in the woods. And the general format that we're going to be doing is a foray after breakfast. And we'll come back or either eat lunch in the field or come back for lunch. Sometimes we have an activity that afternoon, but most evenings the group is free to go and explore San Cristobal. There's an incredible number of things to do in the evening here, and it's really nice to let people go and kind of find their own because the magic here is endless. So one of the big highlights, though, that we get to do, and this is some video from last year, Ezekiel and Alex have made all of these cards based on the mushrooms that they've found here over the years. And so they do a big table layout for us. And so we lay out every mushroom that we find, and we get to see all of the things that are new, all the cards that they have to make this year because they don't have a card for it yet. And so this is a really big highlight. And we'll work with one of the local community centers here to have a display table and showcase some of Chef Carla's cooking as well for one of our lunches. So that was a really big highlight. That was with Ruido last year, and just a really cool way to see all the things you find. Because after it's been in your basket, you don't really realize until you see it on the table. I think we got like 89 or 90 species of mushrooms. Do you remember, Ezekiel?
It was 100 plus species. I don't remember
Yeah, right.
above the 100 number, but somewhere between 130.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
It was quite a lot. That's why it was difficult to set the table up because
There
we
wasn't
just had
enough
so much
table.
space. Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't have enough room for them.
I mean, in small and big, you always get the small mushroom people and the big mushroom people, so you get a lot. Um, So, besides, of course, the mushrooms, we like to showcase some of the food that's around here. We mentioned the chocolate making class as well. And then we actually do a walking tour. The town is so vast and so deep. And Kim has made friends with this really wonderful man named Roberto, who was born here. And his family is steeped in the history of the area. And he takes us around on a walking tour to kind of give you some grounding because you will have the evenings free. You kind of need a little idea of what San Cristobal is all about. And we did mention briefly that first day after we stay in Chiapa de Corzo, we do take a boat ride along the 80 kilometers to and from in the Sumidero Canyon, which is itself one of the most stunning features on Earth, I think. It's just absolutely wonderful. So there's so much to Chiapas to explore, even beyond the mushrooms. And of course, we're not skimping on this one. This is one of our favorite places because of the hotels that we get to stay in. Our first night, we'll meet at Hotel Mansion Chiapa. This is a mere like 100 meters walk from the boat launch that we'll take to go into the canyon. We'll have our opening dinner in Chiapa del Corso, a really cute town across the river from Tuxtla Gutierrez. And then we'll come up the mountains, as I said, about 6,000 feet, and we'll settle into Sombra de Agua. and we'll stay there for the full 7 nights that we're here. Breakfast is included as part of this trip in the Sombra dining area. They have a wonderful restaurant for dinners as well. It's just really quiet, just wonderful hotel, dead center in downtown San Cristobal, and that's where we'll leave every day with the van for the forays, and we'll walk to our activities and to the various dinners should you choose from there as well. So just to kind of summarize, this trip is a lot. It's a really amazing time, and it barely scratches the surface, I feel like, on Chiapas. But we'll be exploring both the tropical and the highland foraging. As Ezequiel talked about, we will be doing the field mycology as well as the table identification with Ezequiel and Alex of Fungaria. We go through the Sumidero Canyon. We will be doing some applied mycology workshops as well as looking at some of the businesses that are around here. We will eat Chiapanecan cuisine as well as have some mushroom food as well with our lady chefs that are just unbelievable. We will be checking out a lot of the cultural stuff as part of our walking tour and pointing out also where the Textile Museum is and other really valuable things to go see. And we're going to check out most of the parks that are around San Cristobal and really kind of check out the diversity of the mushrooms that are in each of those. And as well, do the table talks and talk about all the various other things that we're finding as well, because the biodiversity is huge. So please ask those questions. Some comments that we got from last year, some very enthusiastic folks. I just love these are my kind of nerds. I feel like that sums it up. If you're not a nerd, you might get bored. But if you like nature, this is probably the trip for you. You want to tell them how to do it, honey?
Oh yeah, I'll come in for
Sorry.
the last part. Yeah, no. Well, if you want to join, our trips are starting to fill up. So we are asking folks to put in an application. It is the order in which we fill our trips. Upon receiving your application, there's an indication if you want to have a call or not. We are all about personal contact and supporting folks, answering any questions you have. So if you want to have a call, we'll schedule it. If you would not like to have a call and you'd like to come and hang out with us, we'll follow up with an email with a payment link. And right now we have a $300 or $200 off until Valentine's Day. And we hope you can meet us in Chiapas.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. And then if there's any like questions,
Yeah.
um,
All right. Open the floor for questions, Mickey or Gloria.
you're in the hot seat because
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Gloria was saying that they did this boat tour with her dad
Sumidero.
and yeah, the canyon tour.
It has been about 15 years ago.
Yeah, when our daughter was a teenager. Yeah, been a while, but evidently it was quite spectacular.
Pretty amazing.
it's
Yeah.
pretty spectacular.
Mhm,
So
it is.
we're going to be staying across the river from Tuxtla, is that correct?
Yeah, so Chiapa del Corso is on the opposite bank from where Tuxtla. I mean, it's about 20 kilometers, I think, or so from Tuxtla Gutierrez. You fly into Tuxtla from the
Right.
airport, and just that first night we'll meet in Chiapa del Corso.
You mentioned at one point that evenings are going to be free in San Cristobal. Is that the correct term? The
Yep.
correct name?
Mhm.
When we're in the town that's across the river from Tuxtla, will we have evenings available
It's just
there?
the
or is it
one
cut out?
evening, and it's basically we ask folks to show up at around 6 p.m. so we can go to dinner that night.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If you can land before 4 o'clock, that would be really ideal. Just so we can go to dinner. So we'll have our group dinner in Chiapa de Corzo, and then we'll also have a dinner midweek in San Cristobal, as well as a closing dinner. So we'll have 3 different dinners, but then other than that, you'll have time to go to a lot of the different restaurants that are here if you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I was asking because her family's going to want to know if we're going to be available or if we need to tack days on before or after so that we can include family and stuff. We'll coordinate with you guys later offline or whatever.
Great.
That does remind me though. So this trip begins in Chiapa del Corso, flying into Tuxtla, but the trip ends in San Cristobal. So if folks need help getting back to the Tuxtla airport, we're happy to help them arrange that. The hotel is really good.
The
at
hotel
getting
has
for-
taxis as well as shuttles that you can hop on that are really easy, as well as the reception. If you want to stay for a few days after and do a few more excursions, the hotel has sort of more opportunities to do that as well. It's a really great spot.
Yeah, we just need to figure out an itinerary so that we can include family.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
before, after, in between, and
Great.
there's never enough time for Mexican family, and she's
I'm
got
sure,
an
I'm
enormous
sure.
family. Yeah. Well, this
Great.
looks awesome. Yeah, it makes me hungry and thirsty looking at it, and I'm jealous of you guys. Yes, no question about it.
You want to wrap her up?
Yeah. Well, we're excited that y'all are thinking about joining us. It'd
Yeah.
be lovely to adventure with you again. And Ezequiel, thank you as always for presenting and being our, chief mycologist here in Chiapas. We really appreciate what you do and excited to have another season with you. If anybody has any questions, you can email us. And thank you so much for joining our call.
Yeah, thanks,
Okay,
guys.
pleasure. We look forward to seeing you,
You
and
too.
we'll get signed up here and get you.
I thought we did.
Well, I've got the application.
I've got
but
the
we need to
application.
get
Your
it.
application's
The
in.
applications are
We
in.
We'll
can send you
just
money though. We
follow
can
up.
send you money